Good morning, everyone. My name's Dr. Murray Wright, and I'm the New South Wales Chief Psychiatrist. We all know that from a public health perspective, that the lockdown is for the purposes of reducing the spread of the virus during the pandemic. But it's really important for me to take this opportunity to remind everyone that this is probably the most sustained and serious stress that many of us are going to face in our lifetimes. And how this impacts on us and how we manage it is going to be really important in minimising the well-being and mental health impacts of the stress. There are some fairly simple and straightforward things that we all need to keep front of mind on a daily basis in order to manage these stresses, keep track of how it's affecting us and the people around us, and also to access help if needed. So, in simple terms, what people need to do is to have a plan to manage their stress and to monitor it and to review it on a regular basis. It is straightforward. You've all heard about this before, but it bears repeating, and it actually bears repeating almost on a daily basis. It's like a reset. It's also helpful to assume that everyone that you come into contact with is also dealing with the stress and is impacted by the stress and may not be responding to the things around them in their usual way. And if at all possible, cut them a bit of slack on that basis. So the simple things that we can all do is firstly, have a plan and to create structure in your lives. Particularly in a lockdown, many of us have lost that structure and it's important to recreate it. And that structure includes having regular daily exercise of some kind, having contact with the people who are important in your life, and talking about meaningful things, including how they are coping and how you are coping. It's important to monitor things like your diet, like your sleep, like your alcohol intake, and also to set goals every day and review that. Now, none of us always execute the perfect plan, but it's important to review it and it's important to renew it on a daily basis. If things are not working, the signs of things not working include difficulties with sleep, difficulties with concentration, feeling unduly fatigued, feeling overwhelmed, feeling irritable, or consuming too much alcohol. And if any of those things are happening, either to you or people around you, you should make it a subject of consideration. What can I do to change to change how I'm approaching the day, or do I need help? Ask people if they're okay. That never does harm, and it often does a world of good. And making it a regular subject, as well as talking about the pandemic, talking about well-being, is really critical for all of us. It will minimise the impact, and it will minimise the long-term impact of mental health issues long after the pandemic has gone. We've gone to some trouble in the New South Wales Mental Health Services to adapt to some of the restrictions that the pandemic has brought. There's been an investment in services like increasing availability of telephone help services. So even in isolation, people can access help online. There are online organisations like Beyond Blue, which have some specific advice for managing with the pandemic. And in our clinical services, we've invested in increasing the capacity for telehealth. So our services are open for business and we don't want people to stay away on the basis of the pandemic if you're struggling, and we expect that people will struggle from time to time. Look out for the people around you, talk about what you're doing about it, and reach out for help if you need it. Thank you.